I follow a lot of VTuber adjacent accounts on Twitter, so I hear inklings and whispers and rumors of some things going on every now and then, but this has just seemed to blow up everywhere. This recent VTuber controversy with Niji Sanji and one of their VTubers that had recently left is massive. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of an idiot, so I need someone a little bit more in tune with what's going on to explain it to me so we can figure out exactly what's happening. So we're going to react to a video from Mujin today. We're going to hit that like button. We're going to see documenting the worst PR disaster in VTuber history.
You know when a situation gets to a point where it's so catastrophic, people start saying the phrase, "I hope this gets taught at universities so that it never happens again"?
This is like nuclear disasters and things like that.
This
VTuber Selen Tatsuki Niji Sanji termination creates uproar and backlash. And this happened just a few days ago, actually.
Exactly what's been happening in the Niji Sanji and Selen Tatsuki situation, or better yet, incident. Because when I say that this is catastrophic, I don't mean to say it just in regards to VTubing.
Is that Iron Mouse?
No, I say
I know Iron Mouse. That's literally the one VTuber that I do know. Apart from my friend Tricky Wee. There's Tricky Wee and Iron Mouse. But apart from that, I am very far away from the VTubing community. So when things like this blow up and it becomes a massive deal, and it's not just the VTubing community, I get interested. I want to see what's going on.
say this in regard to the entire internet. Because this is one of the biggest cases of corporate mismanagement I've ever seen in my life. We're talking about a management team that didn't do anything about internal bullying and harassment and let someone almost die because of their negligence. I purposefully waited until we got somewhat of a satisfying conclusion because yes, there is a good ending here, thankfully. And
Oh, well, I have heard there's more to look at after this video too. Any color stocks continue to fall after terminating Selen Tatsuki. Okay, so the stocks, wait, VTuber companies have stocks? Wow, they do. Okay, we had lunch break there. Great. So we had the last 5 days. In fact, the last month. In fact, the last 6. Wow, this thing is all over the place. Goodness gracious me. Let's see if we go to max. Okay, it has been down overall since December. In fact, the drop that they've experienced recently is pretty much consumed by the growth that they had over January. But still, like, oh my god, it was bad in 2023, geez.
And what ended up happening to the corporation, or what is currently happening, is hilarious. This is gonna be a roller coaster, so strap in. Alright, so here's the deal. To really understand the severity of the situation, you have to understand the ecosystem of VTubing.
Which is, I'm so glad this is being explained to me because I have no idea what it is. I just know that there's anime characters, or maybe not anime characters, sometimes other types of characters on a screen that you use some kind of software that follows and tracks your facial movements in order to reflect it in the character's movements on the screen. And then you put in like a high-pitched voice. And then there you go, VTuber.
In general, the biggest players in VTubing often are associated to a corporation. These corporations tend to be from Japan, at least the biggest ones, and they kind of work like music labels, where
I have heard of Niji Sanji, and I've heard another one. I think there's another one called HoloLive. Those are the only two that I've heard of so far.
they literally, and I mean literally, own everything. And yes, that also includes your VTuber model. Okay, this one in particular is fan-made, the ugly bastard, but you get the point. They own what makes you, you.
I've never understood that. Coming from the perspective of a YouTuber that is I'm a flesh tuber. I am one made of skin and bone. That I own myself. I own my own likeness. I own what I look like. I can't imagine being a YouTuber and putting all this effort into a YouTube channel that you don't even own. It's like going and working at a job though, right? It's going and working, say you work at IGN, or you used to work at Machinima, you work at BuzzFeed, and you make videos for all these big corporations. Yes, you are in the videos, and yes, you are the one providing the content, but still, it is owned by the company. And in that way, the company provides you with the tools necessary in order to make stuff happen and also pays you for your time. At least I assume that these VTuber companies pay the people for their time. I wonder how much of a cut from super chats and things that they get. Does Niji Sanji and HoloLive take money from super chats? Do they take money from memberships? Do they take ad revenue? Considering that's all been generated by the creator themselves, but the creator wouldn't be in that position if it wasn't for the company providing them with, say, the VTuber model, the channel, the promotion to grow the channel, the cross collaborations with other VTubers. So there is something to be said that they do provide a lot to the VTubers, but it feels weird for a YouTuber to not own their own channel.
And it goes without saying, they also have access to all your social media accounts, they have the passwords, they can do whatever they want, they can delete whatever they want. It's up to them completely.
I think the worst thing about this is that you can't have your own personal, you can't connect your own personal accounts to what is going on with your YouTuber. From what I know, I might be wrong about this, but say you work at BuzzFeed, you're making videos for BuzzFeed, you can still have your own personal Twitter. They don't own your Twitter accounts. They don't own, if you want to open your own YouTube accounts and connect it and be like, hey, like I have this YouTube account as well where I make my own videos. That's fine. They can't stop that. But with VTubers, I feel like they're very locked down with this type of thing.
With them anyway, though, because they're attracted by the idea of this network, of these resources, of all the stuff that the corporation can do for them. Just like how musicians will still sign with music labels. Currently, the two biggest corporations in VTubing are Hololive and Nijisanji. Hololive is owned by its parent company, Cover, and Nijisanji is owned by its parent company, Anycolor. Now, you probably already know this by now from the title of this video and where we're heading with this, but the corporation at the center of this incident is Nijisanji's English branch, which is of course owned by Anycolor. But
I wonder how many VTubers are under these companies. Are there must be a lot. Oh, there are 33 Nijisanji English members and 143 in the main branch. There's 12 Korea, 7 ID, I don't know what the ID is, and 124 Japanese. That's a lot. That's a huge, oh my god, that's a huge amount.
But one thing you might not know is just how much Anycolor is worth. When it was put on the Japanese stock exchange in 2022, the worth of the company was at $2.5 billion. That's
a lot of billion of dollars.
American dollars. Yeah. It pays to have anime girl avatars talk in front of a camera.
Yes, it does.
VTubing's main source of revenue always came from Japan, but in 2020, during the pandemic's peak of loneliness, Nijisanji and Hololive saw an opportunity. English-speaking weebs. That's when the main culprit of the hour was created, which is Nijisanji's English branch. Selen was in the second ever English branch wave, which
Oh, so they introduced them in waves. So you have your first wave, which is the first ever English VTubers, and then they all come at the same time. This is so interesting. It's like introducing characters to a reality TV show.
Obsidia. She's right here, as you can see. But before even joining Nijisanji, she used to be known as Dokibird. Initially, she was drawing Twitch emotes, and then started streaming.
Oh my god, she joined in 2012. That is ridiculous. And she's Hong Kong Canadian, okay.
Her wacky personality, and she was just having fun. She then joined Nijisanji's English branch under Obsidia alongside Roseby Lovelock and Petra Gurin.
Damn, the art for those are so good, though.
She was in love with the game Apex Legends. She would play that whenever she could. People quickly fell in love with her personality, and she was truly known to care about her fans way too much, often making big sacrifices to make them happy. She called them her Dragoons. But you know what? Since her first stream in July of 2021 with Nijisanji, things were going...
Wait, likes bubble waffles, being awake at 3 a.m., winning, green tea and cheese, doesn't like animatronics and maths, sunlight and bugs. Is this the character's likes and dislikes, or is this the person's likes and dislikes?
Really well. Or at least, that's what people thought. Because at the end of 2023, news would come out that would turn the VTuber community upside down. It all started on Christmas Day, a day you're meant to enjoy with family. It couldn't have gone worse. The trigger for this entire catastrophe? A music video. Selen had worked on a music video for her fans. She paid $15,000 out of her own pocket.
Wow, and it looks really good too. The art on this is incredible.
Nijisanji wouldn't fund it. And on top of not funding,
what's the point of having the freaking company? I guess you have to, you know, make sacrifices when it comes to that type of thing.
What do? They take down the video in under 24 hours.
No way. That is ridiculous.
No explanation to the public. Remember what I said about corporations and how they have access to all social media of their VTubers? Yeah, that's what happened, and she couldn't do anything about it. All she could realistically do under the very tight contracts and NDAs of a corporation is make up.
Feel free to upload, since a lot of money and effort was done by so many Dragoons. That is awful. I cannot imagine putting so much effort into a music video too. Those are so hard to make. And on Christmas Day.
Up a vague tweet, sort of explaining what's going on to her fans. In it, she says, "Hello, I apologize, but management has privated the song. Please feel free to re-upload since a lot of money and effort was done by so many Dragoons," her fans. I'm really sad that this happened on Christmas, but I hope somehow you guys will still be able to listen to it in some way. So I should mention that even at this point, many fans were asking Nijisanji to treat their talent better and to stop giving Selen such a hard time, okay? Even before all the stuff you're about to see, this was already a pressing issue. Her fans could already tell that this was getting to Selen. I mean, it is heartbreaking to lose so much hard work just like that.
And $15,000 worth of work as well. So many people work so hard on that. Like the animators, the artists, making the music, producing the music.
They were understandably worried about her mental state, but no one could have been ready for what would happen 2 days after the music video got taken down. Because out of nowhere, on December 27th, she tweets on her account, "I apologize for the silence. I've been in the hospital after an accident and will be staying there for a few days to be under supervision. I just got back access to my phone yesterday." That's not something you want to see your favorite VTuber ever tweet out. Now look, at the time, her Dragoons did what any good fans would, wishing her good health, of course being worried, but hoping for the best. What many couldn't see at the time, though, is that there's something in this tweet that's very weird and off-putting. The Japanese apostrophe.
Well, that's a Japanese... Wait, that's a Japanese apostrophe?
As you can see from this tweet here by VT Screens, there are two examples of two different tweets, both made by another VTuber in the Nijisanji English branch called Anna Alouette. In the first tweet, a normal apostrophe is used, but in the second, a quote-unquote Japanese apostrophe is used.
Oh my god, are they saying that the Japanese management made the tweet on the account because they have access to her social media accounts?
Signifying that the first tweet was tweeted by her, and that the second tweet was tweeted by her management team.
That's a crazy slip-up to make as well. You think you'd catch on to that?
The implications of such an accusation is just beyond what any of us can process.
They were tweeting from a first-person perspective. They didn't see, sorry, Selen has been in the hospital. She will be there for a few days. They said it like I, as they are the person. Can they not differentiate between a person that is behind the account and just the character? Are they tweeting as if they are the character?
This already in itself is a PR catastrophe, a disaster by every magnitude. But
that's a really big mess up.
People who really knew what was going on were Selen, her emergency contact, we'll get into that later, Nijisanji, her parents, and her lawyer. But as far as everyone else was concerned, her fans, and even her closest friends, their only source of updates were her tweets. So 4 days after being hospitalized,
she doesn't even have access to. She doesn't even have, well, she has access to it. She doesn't have full access to her Twitter account. They could lock her out, I imagine.
"Thank you to everyone for the support since I've been gone. I'm discharged from the hospital and my parents are helping me after my accident. Thank you to my Dragoons for all the kindness and support. I will keep trying my best in the new year. You are what keeps me going." Now, of course, people were happy she was out of the hospital, but the concern was still there. It was very vague and people didn't know what was going on. But unfortunately, as you might have concluded from watching this video so far, things only got worse. 2 weeks after Selen's hospitalization, Nijisanji's English branch tweets, "Due to unforeseen reasons, we would like to announce that Selen Tatsuki will not be able to participate in any activities at Anime Impulse Los Angeles 2024 on January 13th to 14th. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and disappointment caused to fans who have been looking forward to this." And then they detailed that the fans were going to get refunds. Now, all the replies here couldn't care less about the event and are all hoping for Selen's recovery. They're very supportive and are pretty much just giving their thoughts and prayers to her. But
yeah, because at this point, everyone just thinks that there was some accident. Maybe she like fell down the stairs. Maybe like there was some kind of car crash or something. You know, something that would make you have to stay in hospital for a few days, completely out of the powers of anyone. Just a terrible accident, right?
This was the first time since she got out of the hospital that we got any form of updates on her, and it's been 2 weeks. People were starting to get worried. So another 2 weeks passed by, and now it's been 1 full month since she tweeted that she got out of the hospital. So at this point, patience started to run real thin, okay? Prompting her fans to rally around the hashtag #WhereIsSelen on Twitter, demanding answers just to know that she's okay, alive and breathing. This is the tweet that started it. If this statement comes off as asking for too much as a fan, I apologize, but I and many other Dragoons have been worried about her well-being, and I think it's gone long enough to not hear from Nijisanji directly. The most important
all this from a music video that Nijisanji was like, nope, new music video for you. Don't care if you put in all that effort. It's gone now. See you later.
Important thing to understand here is that at this point, even if you watched VTubers she interacted with, they wouldn't mention her. Nijisanji, her corporation, who has a responsibility to represent her, wouldn't mention her either. It was absolute radio silence. And what's even worse is that her close friends didn't even know what was going on either. Just
What?
one day after
Really?
the hashtag started trending, a friend of Selen, RPR, said, "It's been over a month of pure silence and is starting to get concerning. It would be nice to know where and how Selen is doing at the very least." Things were starting to heat up, but of course, in the VTuber community, nothing is really one-sided.
Why are the people replying saying, I hope you don't get mobbed by saying this? I'm sorry if you get unpleasant replies and stuff. Why would people give him unpleasant replies just because he wants to know where his friend is? That seems like a pretty straightforward thing. I imagine if one of my friends went missing, there's one of, Luke goes radio silent for a month and the company representing him doesn't say anything about it. I mean, I have his fucking phone number, but if I say, hey, where is Luke? Everyone's like, hope you don't get dogged on for asking where he is. What's that all about?
When it comes to something like this, some people still manage to find wrong things with that tweet and with that hashtag, defending Nijisanji and defending Selen's privacy.
Oh, privacy? Dude, come on. A month?
This shows that Nijisanji's English branch has huge problems because when a talent of theirs says they've been hospitalized and then disappears for a month, you can't just not say anything. You can't just let the fan base fight within itself. That's gross mismanagement. But there's always a but in this story if you think this has been mismanagement so far. Buddy, now we're getting into the meat of the situation. Because just a few days after the Where is Selen hashtag was created,
oh, it's all gone.
All of Selen's videos on her YouTube channel were privated, including past VODs. Her Twitter was privated as well, all simultaneously, and then a mega-sized nuclear bomb drops on everyone's heads. The Selen Tatsuki termination notice.
What is going on?
Massive that the day it happened, it was everywhere on Twitter. Even if you didn't follow VTubers, you probably have seen.
Dude, they got community noted as well.
Something in reference to this incident. But before we get into why this is one of the most badly written termination notices I've ever seen in my life, one thing to keep in mind. There are two ways a VTuber can leave an agency. The first one is graduation, in which is
basically like you get fired, you leave, you have to go. You're not allowed here anymore. See you later, buddy.
Pretty much leave on amicable terms, and they make it a celebration, which is why they call it a graduation. They have a
Okay, never mind. I guess I was wrong. It's not really much you get fired. Oh, that'll be the termination. Okay, never mind. Okay, so graduation is, hey guys, we're moving on to other things. It's a weird way to like name it, but just different cultural thing, isn't it?
To say goodbye, and everyone lives happily ever after. Termination, on the other hand, is what happens to someone like Riroran,
which we heard about before. We did watch the video on Riroran after she went on a drug-fueled bender and tried to make a harem out of her own fans.
The company claims that they breached the contract in one way or another, so they're being fired. So just imagine, okay, you're a fan. You've been waiting 1 month to hear back from Selen after she was hospitalized, and her company comes in and says, yeah, you know what? She's fired. Excuse me, what? Like, what? And of course, they also got community noted, but we'll get.
Is that Lily Pichu? Oh my god, I know Lily Pichu.
Get into that later. First, the terribly written termination notice. This is a very vaguely, very badly translated termination letter. We don't really get any specific reason as to why she got terminated.
Despite our efforts to uphold these rules, Selen Tatsuki has repeatedly violated the activity rules since joining Nijisanji in 2021. The actions in violation of the activity rules encompass a wide range of issues as non-compliance with rights confirmations and authorization flows, which could potentially lead to an infringement of third-party rights, including copyrights. The violations include unauthorized usage of works and assets belonging to others affiliated with any color. Wait, with any color? What? You couldn't even use the same work as other people that are in any color? What's the fucking point of being in this company?
Just very vague ones. I mean, look at this. They say that Selen has repeatedly violated the activity rules. The activity rules is something that all VTubers have to comply with under Nijisanji, right? But then when you read into what the activity rules actually were, they say they encompass a wide range of issues, such as non-compliance with rights confirmation and authorization flows.
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
Or a VTuber's termination. But many of the things they were talking about in the first page are redundant because they're spoken about in the second page in more detail. And most of this revolves around the music video, which is why they gave it an entire section on this termination notice.
Okay.
They say that she posted the music video without getting proper authorization from her management team because all relevant parties had to be okay with it. Of course, she was under the impression that she could post it because not only did she pay for the entire thing out of pocket, $15,000, but according to the community notes, Lily Pichu, the person behind the original song, had given full authorization to Nijisanji to use the song.
Goat, Lily Pichu. That's the goat right there. I didn't know she made so much music, though.
No, you know what? Let's take it down and not even tell the fans why it got taken down, right? So her tweet saying, management took down the video, you are free to re-upload it, also went against Nijisanji's rules. Because, hey, communication, we don't do that here, buddy.
You're not allowed to say anything on your account. Oh, God, it's so restrictive. I hate these corporate accounts and these corporate rules that restrict you from doing anything that you want because we have to protect the business. It's so inauthentic. It's so fake. I fucking hate it. You should be able to say things like that. You should be able to say, management didn't allow me to do this. It's not even disparaging the company. It's just saying what a true fact was.
Nope. Still, though, they had the gall to claim that these actions...
It damaged the reputation? What? Are you serious? Well, you know what? Well, maybe you should just not have taken the video down. Lily Pichu gave authorization. She paid for the whole thing out of pocket. What's the problem? What's the issue?
Led to various misunderstandings.
How is anyone supposed to be creative and make good content and make good things if they're so restricted in everything they can do? Where's the appeal behind joining any of these VTuber corporations apart from they give you like an audience and a VTuber, and that's it? But they restrict you so heavily, creatively. It's completely ridiculous.
That damage the reputation of both Anycolor and Nijisanji EN. Buddy, listen, let me tell you something. She's not the one damaging the reputation right now. You are. Because we are getting to the darkest section of the termination notice. In an effort to calm the situation, we sought to either publicly disclose the reasons for making the music video private or have Selen Tatsuki disclose them herself. While being mindful of Selen Tatsuki's physical and mental health, management did their best to communicate not only with Selen Tatsuki herself, but also her emergency contact. However, despite frequent communication with Selen Tatsuki's emergency contact while remaining considerate of her situation, we were unable to come to an agreement on how to proceed. The decision was made to temporarily remove her access to accounts on various social media platforms and video distribution services under the name Selen Tatsuki.
Okay, who is this emergency contact? Is it like the parents? I would imagine it's the parents, maybe like a partner, a close friend.
Dude, this is so much worse now that we know what happened. This is so badly written. So you have to ask yourself why they're even talking to her emergency contact. And you also have to understand, what does while remaining considerate of her situation even mean? In any case, you couldn't stay curious about this because then there's another bombshell in the last paragraph of the notice. Despite our efforts, Selen Tatsuki demanded that Anycolor should be held legally responsible. It means she's suing them. She claimed that she was no longer able to engage in her activities as a liver due to the decisions made by Anycolor, was being harassed by other affiliated livers due to mismanagement, etc.
Are they just self-reporting right now? They're literally just saying, yeah, like this is all these terrible things that happened to her are because of this company. Or at least she's saying that it is, not that it actually is.
By the way, as if it's like a little thing that you should ignore, while refusing to acknowledge her responsibility for violating the activity rules. Moreover,
yes, the authorization conflicts. Yes, of course.
Tatsuki insisted that if the negotiations did not progress, she would proceed to release a statement regarding her claims to the public. This little
Which is fair enough.
Sparked a war on Twitter, okay? The fact that she was being bullied internally? Who the hell thought that this letter was going to make Nijisanji look better in this situation?
It is crazy to include a random paragraph right at the bottom of the letter that you did not need to write, where it just says, yeah, she said that she was getting bullied by some of our streamers. Isn't that crazy?
Because you know what the cherry on top is? Even Selen had no idea. She saw the termination notice as everyone else was seeing it too. So she got back on her Dokibird account, and what she said is probably the worst thing to come out of this entire controversy. The attempt she made on her life. I will not be silenced anymore. On December, I was hospitalized for an attempt that was caused by a buildup of bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment for numerous months that led to my breaking point. I requested to leave first, but on more neutral terms on the 26th of January. So yeah, this bullying that Nijisanji mentioned so lightly actually caused her to almost lose her life. But no, guys, we gotta terminate her. She's too much of a stain on our reputation. This is what I mean when I say
it is insane that someone makes an attempt on their own life and your first thought is, oh, well, it looks like we gotta fire him. And also, we have to like disparage them on Twitter. We have to go on the timeline and we got to write a fucking twit longer about how they're big liars.
Say, this needs to be taught at universities. This could not have been handled in a worse way. You have one of your top talents almost end their own lives over a toxic environment at your company. And your
I mean, she was in hospital for days after that. It must have been quite bad.
concern is your reputation. Like, I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. This is what ruined your reputation, buddy. This right here, the fact that so many people saw this tweet and understood what a terrible company you are. I mean, seriously. So far we understood that she was bullied internally, almost lost her life because of this.
And for some reason, you include that in your letter of termination that you tweet out publicly. Why would you say that she was getting bullied? Or that she said that she was getting bullied? Why would you even reference that?
Still wanted to actually go through a friendly graduation, saying goodbye to her fans without any more drama. But now that we know all this information, we have to take a step back on.
Yeah, they straight up just fired her. She comes through, she wants to leave on more neutral terms after you take down her music video that was completely above board and fine just because it didn't go with your corporate rule set, this nonsense, and just made up. You just make it up. You just make up the rules. And she does something that's slightly egregious, slightly against those rules and say, oh, no, can't be having that. No, we cannot be having that. You hear that she was getting bullied? Isn't it crazy that she's getting bullied?
On something very important. So here's the thing. Niji Sanji self-reported themselves in the notice by admitting something they probably shouldn't have. As this Reddit post points out, Niji stated they stripped Selen's access from all accounts on December 26th, so these two tweets were written by staff impersonating her. Going back to the whole point of the Japanese apostrophe. So you're telling me that someone on your team tries to end their lives, and the day after they do, when they're in the hospital, you tweet on their behalf. And then you also have the gall to announce that they got out of the hospital, they're with family, speaking directly to their fans, looking forward to the new year. And you actually think this is a good idea? This is—
Oh my god, wait. The second tweet says, thank you to my Dragoons for all the kind support. I will keep trying my best in the new year. She didn't write that. You are what keeps me going. She didn't write that. This fucking intern at Niji Sanji or whoever wrote this in management is forming this or pushing this parasocialness when the fans are worried about how she is in this situation after she's been in hospital for days. She doesn't have access to these accounts. She can't write anything, but the management comes in and pushes the parasocialness of you are what keeps me going. And I will keep trying my best, speaking for a person that is in a horrific situation that the company has put her in the first place with toxicity and bullying, and then takes access to the accounts away from her and then fires her. Oh my god, that's insane.
Niji Sanji doing a very great job of personifying exactly why people hate corporations to begin with, because they just see you as a number, and this is a perfect example of that. Furthering this point of not giving a single shit about anyone in the company, they threw all their talent, all their VTubers under the bus when they said there was bullying and harassment and didn't give any names.
Isn't it crazy that she said that she was getting bullied by some of the streamers? Oh man, I wonder who it was. Yeah, she said she was getting bullied, and that's why she attempted to take her own life. Isn't that crazy that I didn't even have to say that, and I did? Ooh, I guess we'll never know who it was. It's someone. It's the Amogus of live VTuber bullying.
Because after it got out that Selen almost died because of this, people started speculating in the worst possible way about who was bullying her. They started unsubbing from all other Niji Sanji English branch VTubers. As you can see from this tweet here, I need names. Now, whoever was allegedly harassing her from the livers needs to be known because if I support them, I do not want to any further. And many of them took a quote-unquote social media break also with the Japanese apostrophe in those tweets announcing them.
No way they all have the Japanese apostrophe. Oh my god, all of the management just hijacked all the accounts and says, guys, I need to take a break. It's not even them saying that. It's just some PR guy just hammering away on the tweet keys. This one guy tweeting out all these different tweets from all these different personalities and characters and people.
Break because things were getting out of hand. However, at this point, one thing was certain. Niji Sanji fucked up big time. So now is when shit starts to go down. In very ironic Niji-sanji mismanagement fashion, they forgot to unmod Selen's mods on her YouTube channel. So to raise awareness about the situation,
my
they
days.
created a live stream that was never meant to go live and just spammed the chat with links to Dokibird's channel, saying Niji-sanji f***ed up, they did not remove my mod. Please
That's a pretty boss man play, to be fair.
subscribe to Dokibird on that stream chat on
I wonder how mods on these work. Like with mods on regular YouTube channels, you mod people that are in your community that you like, you'll mod your friends, maybe people that want to help out, chatters that you think are a good representation of the community. But with corporations, you feel like you have to be on top of that. I feel like corporations want complete control over that type of thing. So do they have a pool of mods that they pay, or do they grab people from the community and interview them first? Because there's no way that you're just going to allow someone to be a mod without some kind of background checks, right? They got to make sure that they're not absolutely crazy and saying they're going to ruin the VTuber's channel, don't they?
on YouTube. The hashtag sink the yacht started trending as well. This meant that people wanted to sink the yacht of the billionaire CEO of Niji-sanji.
Billionaire
After
CEO?
Niji-sanji had caught wind of the rogue mods, they went and did the same thing in her Twitch channel. But wait a second, now that I'm looking at this picture, I just realized, why did this person resub for 28 months? Are they not aware Selen got terminated? Can someone tell them, please?
It may have just been an automatic recurrent payment and they didn't realize they hadn't canceled it yet, so they just went through. And then when you have that automatic recurrent payment go through, you just have something in the chat that's like, oh, do you want to share your resub message? So it's not an active resub, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's just it took the money anyway. Now I'm here, and now I can share a resub message.
As you can see, everyone is spamming sink the yacht. Someone also added Niji-sanji to the list of Japanese black companies, aka a black corporation or black business is a Japanese term for an exploitative sweatshop type employment system. As this was all going on, many people were coming out and saying that they were not going to work with Niji-sanji anymore due to this. So here we can see a Clipper channel saying this. Here we can see a merch company doing this. They've worked with Niji-sanji for years. And also Height, who makes PCs and had a huge collab planned with Niji-sanji, straight up canceled it. Now look, you're not going to believe me when I say this. And you know what? You're right. But trust me on this. Even after all this, okay, Niji-sanji still managed to make it even worse. Yes,
All right, what did they do this time? I mean, I can't imagine. There's still 6 minutes left of this video, and there's more stuff that happens after this, allegedly, from what I've seen from comments and tweets and things.
I know, but it's the truth. They released this on their investor relations page. Impact of the decision to terminate the affiliation contract with the Niji-sanji English Liver on our financial results.
Oh my god, dude.
On February 5th, 2024, Any Color made the decision to terminate our affiliation contract with the Niji-sanji English Liver, Selen Tatsuki. The impact of this decision on our financial results will be negligible.
Oh, dude, is this to the investors? God, oh, this just makes it really slimy and drippy and gross, doesn't it? This just makes you hate all the kind of business culture, stock culture, the investments. We gotta please the investors. We gotta make sure that they're not losing any pennies, no matter who gets hurt in the process.
Bro, you had someone almost kill themselves, leave. You didn't even tell them that they're leaving. You terminated them, even though they wanted to leave on friendly terms. And this is what
This isn't a public statement to everyone. This has to just be to investors, right?
you have to say with everyone protesting. That is insane to me.
They're like, hey, guys, we're not going to lose any money, though. As if that's the most important thing in this situation. As if that's what you need to be worried about right now. Oh, no, the money. Oh, no, our money.
And they had never released a statement like this before on a termination, ever. Even Goldman Sachs had something to say about this, assuming minor earnings impact from VTuber contract termination. Any Color's share price has fallen for consecutive days after it announced on February 5th that it had terminated the contract of Niji-sanji English streamer Selen Tatsuki. We see minimal impact on company-wide earnings from terminating the contract of one VTuber. And they argue that because the Niji-sanji English segment accounted for only 19% of company-wide sales, they wouldn't be affected that much.
This is so gross. This is
advice
actually fucking gross. Oh, I hate it when companies talk about things like this. Like, all that matters is the pennies. All that matters is the dollar. Society is crumbling. We're all gonna die. The birds are leaving. The water is gray.
It sucks. Because they kind of were. Not just a little bit. Quite a lot. Because as you can see from this chart here, this wasn't a minimal loss of market value. Their share price tumbled 10% throughout the course of this whole controversy. This is the graduation announcement. It tumbled. Then they thought, okay, we saw the worst of it. We're cool. And then ironically, on the 7th, they put out the document saying, hey, this financial impact is going to be negligible, guys. Don't worry.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Boom! Minus 10%, wiping $152 million off their market cap.
From what we saw before, though, when we see the actual Any Color share stock price, yes, it has gone down by quite a lot over the last 5 days. It is gone down by a lot. But over the course of the month, on January, this was when they announced that she was getting fired, right? And then it went like way back up again, and then it went way back down. But over the course of 6 months, you can see it fluctuates so massively, so constantly all of the time that this seems to be like almost normal behavior for this specific stock. Like it went up massively over January, and over the course of a year, you can see it's actually up on the year. The year to date, it's actually up by quite a bit.
Now, yes, as I mentioned earlier, the company's worth over $2 billion, but losing 10% of your stock price will never, ever look good for any investor. Any Color believes terminating selling Tatsuki won't negatively impact finance.
It is so funny that they said, hey, guys, firing her is not going to do anything for the stock price, baby, and then immediately goes down 10%. That is pretty funny. Also, that's kind of like karma. If karma existed, this would be it.
Minus 10%. That's crazy. But while this is looking very rough for Niji Sanji right now, the good news is that it's not the case for Doki Bird. It's a happy ending for her, thankfully. She got a manager, and she cried when they told her that from now on she can actually get sponsors to fund her projects instead of paying everything out of pocket. You see, it turns out that she spent over $200,000 just last year funding her own projects.
That is insane. What is the point of Niji Sanji? What is the point of being with this company?
Niji Sanji would not fund themselves. According to her accountant, her mother, she made $0 last year. That's
what? Yeah, there's no point. Don't join these companies. That is insane. $0 last year. Oh, and she's back, everyone. She did a stream where she's back, and oh my god, this art is so nice. It's really cute. So she came back.
I thought it was gonna be.
This is really cute. What do VTubers do? I mean, I know they play games. I guess in this situation, she's kind of like talking about the situation maybe a little bit and seeing like what's going on with everything. Ooh, is people giving like super chats in the comments and everything? The VOD has 1.3 million views, which is that's pretty huge. That's pretty big.
That's how crazy it was. Her return stream that was done a few days after she came back on her Doki Bird account had over 120,000 concurrent viewers.
That is insane!
For like 2 hours straight. It didn't drop at all.
Wow, that's incredible.
Streaming, that's extremely impressive. Like
that is ridiculously impressive. That is, I can't even explain how impressive that is. Wow.
Esports events might get that kind of view count.
No, I mean, maybe like world championships, like League of Legends World Championship might get that. Well, actually, they probably get a little more than that, to be fair. They're really big.
And when she ended her stream, the total viewers that tuned in were around 1.1 million. And Niji Sanji could have never predicted any of this because they're so stupid. They could have been by her side celebrating her success if they just supported her and didn't abandon her the way they did. But hey, she's free now and she's taking it all very well. This right here is a quote from one of her most recent streams. She said, so apparently the new Suicide Squad, oh, very poor choice of name considering recent events. Anyway, so she's...
Oh, at least she can make jokes about it. That's good. That shows that she's in a little bit of a better headspace right now.
Really well, which is great. She also did a vote to see what she should call her viewers now that she's Doki Bird again, and they all voted Dragoons. And she said, well, screw it. It's not like it's copyrighted anyway.
Yeah, facts, bro.
So
take it.
The Dragoons
take it back.
On. Meanwhile, this...
We have to take it back.
Just came out very recently. Niji Sanji is still struggling to keep this crisis under control. There was a huge Mario Kart 8 event planned with many of their VTubers, and they postponed it. Because in their words, they want to dedicate our full attention to prioritizing and ensuring the quality of our livers' well-being.
That's crazy, because that's never been a concern for them in the past.
How ironic is that, dude? Where were you when Sella needed your support? Very good question. This just seems like crazy damage control, and I doubt anything in management will change. I hope it does, but for the most part, it's just another corporation. Because just one day after she got terminated, they posted merch announcements.
Merch announcement? There's no way. That's crazy.
Like, I don't think anything's
The first reply says, I feel like my dog communicates and understands better than this company.
gonna change. Wait, I feel like my dog
Yeah, there it
communicates
is.
and understands better than this company.
That's insane.
Oh my god. Look, if you're a viewer or a VTuber, there are two things you should take away from all this controversy. The first one being never, ever, under any circumstances, trust a corporation. And the second lesson, which I think is way more important than the first one, is that no matter how bad things are looking for you right now, there's never any circumstance in which you should attempt to take your own life. Less than 2 months ago, Doki almost took her own life because of how bad things were. And now, less than 2 months later, she is the happiest she could have ever been, never able to guess that she'd be here right now. So if you also feel like you're at the darkest point of your life, just tell yourself this: hold on a while longer. In a month from now, you could be the happiest person ever. Hey, you got this. Don't give up. Let's go. Thank you so much for watching. This is
Well, that's not the end of it, because there's more that's went down. So to recap all the stuff that I think is going on, it's a little hard to keep track of everything, but Niji Sanji on their accounts released a video from their own CEO that was like, hey, damn, this stuff sucks. We love our VTubers. They're the best. They're so cool and awesome. And also, in addition to that, there was a video done by another VTuber that is with Niji Sanji called Illyria, where they did a black screen thing, and they don't really show a huge amount, but they essentially talk about how they are uncomfortable and unhappy because Selene, or I guess now Doki Bird, had information in a document given to her lawyer, because this is a legal situation, that included some personal information about some of these VTubers, which I guess is like a legal requirements. Like if you're filing legal complaints, it has to have information about them. Alira said that it had their personal information. It alludes to like where they live and things like that. But that was information that was only shared with Doki Bird's lawyer and Niji Sanji. But Niji Sanji then gave it to these VTubers so that they could see it. I don't know why they did that. I'm pretty sure that's not legal. I'm pretty sure that the legal documents in this situation that was given to the lawyers should not have also been given to these people, even if it pertains to these people. But it isn't exactly like leaking personal information online unless the lawyers were to like post it, unless Niji Sanji personally posted all of these documents online. I don't understand how this could be a massive issue for them. There is a lot to go through here, and there's been a lot of comments. There's a lot of dislikes on this one. There's just a lot going on. I went to the Niji Sanji subreddit too, and tried to kind of get a manage on or get a hold on what's going on. They then tweeted about that whole situation, about the documents that were shared around, and they say themselves, in order to check the validity of Selene and her lawyer's claims, Any Color shared only necessary parts of the information sent by her lawyer with our livers and led an internal investigation, which they then got community noted to say that Dokibird said that she was promised the information would only be shown to lawyers as it was a HR complaint, and that sharing the information to the livers, that the streamers, was a break-in of that promise, and also a violation of some Canadian law too. It's just crazy that they keep tweeting L's. How do you tweet so many L's in such a consistent manner? They just keep posting stuff online. They just keep posting. They love posting. They're such a big fan of posting stuff online. And something that really sucks is this accusation of sharing information that could potentially dox these other VTubers that was made against Dokibird was made while she was live. I can't imagine going through something like this while you're live. So it just like, you can see it in her voice, or you can hear it in her voice. Like she feels like so uncomfortable here.
It, which I have evidence and receipts, as well as backed up by my lawyer. So that is all I will be saying regarding anything that's going on at the current time. Anyway, all I really want to do,
I feel so bad for her. Like I know what it feels like to have something terrible dropped on you while you're streaming, and this is like way worse than anything I've ever had. She had to end her stream because she had to go and talk to her lawyers about the whole situation. again, and it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Like she can't even move on. I don't know. I'm trying to get a grasp on this whole situation, and I feel like I have. It feels like Niji Sanji has really messed up like a ton here. If they had just let her graduate, if they had ended on neutral terms, maybe this could have been avoided. The whole situation is absolutely awful. The fact that she had to be hospitalized in the first place, and is now still dealing with this, even all this time later, in public. It's all been aired out in public, and it just sucks a lot, and I feel really bad. Anyway, VTuber stuff is crazy. You should definitely subscribe to Muujin if you want to be kept updated with all things VTuber or Genshin Impact or any Hoyoverse or anything like that. He may make fantastic videos on subjects like that. And if you want to see more of my dumb face, then you can always subscribe to this channel as well.